has come. For 300 years, we prepared, we grew stronger. While you rested in your cradle of power.
So things keep getting worse for Picard. Bounding into Comics did some nice work that we're going to go over, but I wanted to talk about this show for a second because I'm really disappointed by it. So I've been watching the series. I actually picked up CBS All Access just so I could watch it. I don't care about Discovery. Didn't watch it. So when a lot of people talked about how far Star Trek had fallen, I'm a little in the dark because I don't watch the CBS stuff. And I got to tell you, if it's actually worse than Picard, that's pretty terrible. I don't think Picard is actually that bad. I think it's a very mediocre show. I would put it, I would give Chapter 2 a 6 or 5. That chapter was pretty dull. And I got really irritated when they started dropping F-bombs. It's like, you know, I think everyone's seen Star Trek 4, the one where they go back in time and they literally talk about how language has evolved past colorful metaphors. But yet here we are. I guess that just changed. It's like, what are you doing? I watched an Annie Trecker video where he said, I think a big problem with people's opinions of this show is the language and the writing. And I think he's got a really good point there, to be honest. This does not feel like Star Trek dialogue or language at all. And I'm not an expert in Star Trek. I'm a very casual fan. And even I'm like kind of bothered by it. So I can only imagine how hardcore Star Trek fans feel about this show. They're probably pretty irritated. So I think when people are mad and furious about Picard, they have pretty good justifications. Even I'm a little irritated by it because I really do like The Next Generation. The original series, The Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine are really good shows. I like the original series the most. I had a lot of fun watching that show when I was a kid. It was like always on reruns. Like when I got up for school, you know, because I had to catch the bus, so I had to get up early. It was always on. It was always on at like, you know, ass early in the morning. And I don't remember the channel. So I always watched it. So I do like Star Trek a lot. And to see it kind of turned into like Looper, the TV show, as in I'm saying like a generic sci-fi show, it's kind of disappointing. And that's what this show feels like. It feels like a generic kind of, you know, whatever show. This doesn't feel epic. It doesn't feel like Star Trek. You would think like Captain Picard coming back would feel like an epic thing. Like it would feel like you would feel something out of it. I don't really feel anything for this show. I don't feel anything for it. And I think a lot of people kind of have the same feelings as I do. And you could kind of see that thanks to some work that Bounding into Comics did. I thought this was really interesting stuff. I'll link this in the description. Please go check it out and go over, because I'm not going to go over the entire article. I just want to go over some stuff. He went and looked at Google Trends, and you can kind of see what's going on here. I think interest in this show is just gone. I think people watched the first chapter, and they checked out. So he went and looked at Google Trends and confirmed this. By the way, CBS All Access, what a garbage service. I've used it. Actually, I paid for no commercials. I put in my information, watch it on my Xbox. I get commercials. What is this? This is literally the worst streaming app. DC Universe runs better than CBS All Access. A Warner Brothers niche spin-off streaming service with nothing but DC comic book material runs better than CBS Broadcasting's streaming service app. Just saying. That's sad. That's sad. So, Bound into Comics did some work here. Google Trends charts show that interest in CBS All Access Star Trek Picard plummeted following the show's premiere episode. Using the search term Star Trek Picard, you can see in the graphs below that interest in the show peaked on January 24th, the day after the show initially premiered. The show premiered on January 23rd at 3 a.m. Since then, it has rapidly declined. The first graph shows interest in Star Trek Picard over the past 30 days globally. As you can see, it peaks on January 24th and then plummets. And you can see it right there. That is a beautiful ski slope that would be a lot of fun. Not good times for beginners, though. You go down here. However, the Google Trends 30-day chart only goes up to January 29th. That means it excludes the premiere episode 2. Episode 2 aired on January 30th at 3 a.m. In order to compensate for this, I also looked at the 7-day chart, which includes both January 24th and the 31st, today's date. As you can see below, the debut of Star Trek Picard's second episode peaks at 62. That's almost a 40% drop from the premiere of the first episode. That is terrible. He also looked at global numbers. He looked at how the show is trending in the United States, and while it does maintain a little bit more staying power, it still suffers a significant drop between the first and second episodes. Below, you can see the 30-day chart in the United States. It peaks on January 23rd, with the 24th coming in a close second. Like the global chart, it only shows data up to January 29th. Then he goes and shows comparisons to other shows. I thought the Mandalorian's chart was kind of interesting. Look at that drop. As you know, the show's done. It finished the week after Rise of Skywalker came out. So of course, naturally, with the show over, the excitement's not going to be there anymore. But it still is almost up there if you look at that red and blue line with where peak interest was for Picard. Pretty pathetic. It's not looking good for this show. A 40% drop in interest, that's pretty significant. And I would say it's probably going to get worse. Like, CBS has really just ran this franchise into the ground. It's crazy. Like, a lot of people have been talking about Discovery. I watched people's reviews on how terrible it is. And it's really sad to see, like, such an iconic brand just get ran into the ground like this. And I thought this was pretty interesting. This is another abounding in the comics article. This is a rumor that Orville's Seth MacFarlane and NBC walk out of Star Trek sales meeting. And I haven't seen Orville. I really should watch it. I hear it's really good. I know Nerdrotic and Doomcock love it. So it's probably good if they're praising it. And I know Seth MacFarlane is a huge, huge Star Trek fan. Anyone that's watched Family Guy knows this. And apparently him and NBC were going to try to get the brand and make so they can make TV shows, and CBS thought that this was worth a lot of money, and apparently he walked out because of the figures. Like, they wanted so much money for it, and it's just not worth it. If anything, they should take these Google trends in there and show them just how far this brand has fallen. Really, really sad. In fact, they've gotten so desperate about it that you can actually go to CBS All Access right now, and you can watch the first episode of Picard for free. It was supposed to be an exclusive for their streaming service, but that's changed. Now it's free. So I don't know. I don't know where they go from here. Hopefully the show gets better, but the dialogue is really bad. Dropping F-bombs, and the way they talk is totally different. I went and watched a couple episodes of The Next Generation because I had the Blu-ray box set. And there's a big difference in how they talk on that show versus how they talk on this one. It's almost like the people that write the show don't know anything about Star Trek. And that seems to be the common complaint among everybody that criticizes CBS Star Trek and Kurtzman. Man, people don't like Kurtzman. Kurtzman's like the Kathleen Kennedy of Star Trek. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Are you still interested in Picard? How have you felt about the past 2 chapters? I liked chapter 1 just fine. And then, I don't know, I really do think it was the F-bombs and stuff they were dropping in chapter 2. Like I said, I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. It was like, meh, you know? I don't know. It's just something doesn't feel right about it. I'm going to keep watching it, but hopefully things get better. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, give me your thoughts on that, guys. How do you feel about it? Throw a like up if you would. Share the video. That'll help a lot. Make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that and subscribe if you're new.